Hello, I hope you can all hear me. We're going to start the class today and we're going to tackle a few things today. We'll tackle forms and a bit of some multimedia elements we didn't tackle last time. That is embeddings. We have embeddings for YouTube and embeddings for Google Maps. So, okay, for last time, maybe a recap. So the videos are in this series. You can access them. We did some introduction to semantic elements in HTML, where we tackled the header, main, article, and video. We also did some multimedia elements where we tackled images, audio, and videos. And so for today, we are going to complete the embeddings, which are quite simple to add. Let me share my entire screen and then we look at that. First, I'll stop the sharing and then I'll share my entire screen. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me share my window. Share. So I hope you can all see my screen. I hope it is clear. So I hope you can see the site I've opened to. I'm in the KamandeDevHub site. Hope it's clearly accessible. So let's see what we're going to tackle today. We're going to finish on embedding YouTube videos and maps. So for you to embed a YouTube video, let's for example search a video. YouTube allows you to share the video using the embedding. So let me search a video. For example, let me open this, but I'll mute. And then we come to the share. Let's look for the share icon here for the sharing. You can see embedding, so you can embed and then it will generate the iframe with the video details. So you can copy this and then I'll just share on the KamandeDevHub platform. So you can copy that and paste it in your web where you want to attach it. For example there, so that is it, and then it comes with the description. So and when I run this, this is how it will appear. This is the video that the embedding that we copied. So you just copy the embedding from the YouTube channel you want to share and paste it in your code editor. And then also the same applies for Google Maps. If you want to share to include Google Maps in your in your website. They also allows sharing embeddings. For example, let me search my location. I hope you can see that one. And let's look for let me search my current location, that is Juja. Here I am, this is Juja. And let's look for the share. So you can see the share icon. You can click on the share, and then you have options to embed a map. And you can copy now the HTML. It comes with an iframe. So if I copy that and paste it in the KamandeDevHub site, and when we run the code, we'll see the Google Map embedding. So, okay, this is not styled. I was just demonstrating how to share multimedia elements. And so that's it for the multimedia. So we covered images, we covered audio, we covered video in the previous videos. If you haven't watched, you can follow them. And then this is just embeddings. We'll do a simple project where we'll combine all of this, so don't worry about that. It will get clear soon. And yeah, so that's the section I wanted to finish on multimedia elements. And now I want to proceed to discuss about forms. And you can follow along these KamandeDevHub websites and do the practice, read through the codes, and then run them on the browser. You can edit and learn as you practice. So allow me to go to forms, and we'll talk about forms, and then we'll do a simple project on a sign up form, and then complete today's class. Okay, so forms are used to mainly collect user input, and we wrap them in the form controls, and we also use label with the attribute ID, or wrap the input directly. That is to allow assistive technology and screen readers. We have the basic structure of a form where we declare it using the form element, and then we have different fields in the form. Let's say for a form, we might have a sign up form, a login form, or a subscription form, and then it will have the different fields. We have uh, inputs fields for like email, full name, password, confirm password, and also a form has a button that is to push or to submit the details the user inputs into our backend and save them. So we have we use different fields. We have the field set or legend to group related input. We look at the different inputs that a form field can take. We have input fields like we have a checkbox which allows you to tick one option. We also have text input, we have email input, we have uh, multimedia input. We'll look at them in a few. And then let's look at the input types we have in forms. And we use semantic input types so that mobile devices show the right keyboard and browser, and the browser validates the user input appropriately. We have different input fields in HTML. We have text input, we have an email input, we have password input. We declare the type using these type attributes. We have also URL input, we have numbers input, we have a range input, we have date, and you can have a custom one like a color. And then we also include the submit button at the bottom of the form. The times that we need to validate user input before submitting it to the database, we HTML allows some inbuilt validators such as the required have the minimum and maximum can be input length. You have a pattern. Let's say you have a pattern for email validation, maybe mobile number validation, and also we should include titles for the messages. Keep the client side check the validity of user input before submitting them to the database. For example, you have this form here in the command form. We have a form, the label with username, and then the input for username is a text, and then we have the accepted pattern. This is a regular expression for the pattern where it accepts caps A to Z, small letters A to Z, and number 0 to 9 for the username, and a length of 3 to 5 characters or letters. We also have a phone number validation where we have the input type for phone, and then the name is phone, the type is tel, and then the pattern we have the 0 to 9, that is numbers, and it accepts numbers between 7 to 15 numbers, and you can include your country code. When we talk about accessibility in forms, we include this is our aria attributes, which allows screen readers to navigate through our website, and we also have helpers and JavaScript validation, which we won't cover JavaScript validation today because we haven't yet covered validation in any of our class, but this one we'll discuss it in the JavaScript class. We're just building the foundations for HTML, so we'll skip this part for later when we cover JavaScript, and we will do a practical sign up form where we'll touch and see the different inputs, and also through that I'll be introducing a few CSS stylings which we'll discuss later in details, but for now it's just demonstrating a sign up form or forms in HTML, and then these concepts will be coming along as we proceed to other sections in this tutorial and in the journey to becoming a full stack web. So for now, let us go to VS Code. We'll be creating this form in VS Code. So let me share my VS Code. Let me share my VS Code. Okay, a minute. One moment. I hope you can see my screen, and I hope VS Code is clear now. I hope you can see the code editor clearly. Let me open a blank window in VS Code, and we name HTML files using the .html extension. That is how we name the HTML file, and we are going to use this intro.html. Let's create the boilerplate using Shift and 1 simultaneously. Let's rename this to, we are creating a register form, and so for this we need a form, but first we'll put this inside a div and call it our container. And then inside the div, we can have a h2 with our sign up form. So this is a sign up stroke register. And so inside that is where we have our form element. We can input the action, though for now we will be pointing to an existent JavaScript file, because we will learn about JavaScript and then connect all these concepts together. And then the method for this is posts. And then we have to put a label for each and every element we have in our HTML. So we'll put a label, and then with the for attribute, and this field is for full name. We close that tag and then input, and we will wrap our input field inside the label. So we have an input, and then the type is text. We have the ID for this. These are different attributes that we'll talk much in later, and the usefulness is the full name. And then we have the name, still full name. We have another field. Yeah, it's a required. We've talked about validation, so it's a required field, and we can have the class name, which will assist us in styling. Its class will be form input. Correct that, and we also have a placeholder. So this helps our users to understand what is required of them to enter. So you can tell them enter your full name, and we've closed that. So we will replicate this, but with different fields. We're going to use the autocomplete feature of VS Code, and then I'll just explain. So when I put the cursor at the end and then I type in label, it suggests the input, and just click the tab, and it will auto-generate these fields instead of typing the entire one. This one we have an input for email. Have the type email, the ID email, the name email. It's a required also. The class, use the same class, which will help us in styling. And the placeholder, enter your email. Still we auto-generate the fields for, okay. Still we will auto-generate the fields for password and confirm password, and a button. So we have the field for confirm password, and then, sorry about that. Yeah, we have the field for confirm. Sorry, I've rushed. Okay, we have the field for password. We're also supposed to have one for confirm password. Let's input a field for confirm password. Have a field for confirm password there, and Close it. We also now have a field for button. And let's put a paragraph. Okay, wait. Sign up, email, label, confirm password, and then the submit button. That's our form. We can put a paragraph here for the already have an account login here. So those are the fields in our form: the name, the full name, the email, confirm password, and the submit button. I want you to note the attributes we have in here. We have the type, which will put the type of input we want. And then we have an ID, which we'll use in for accessing the different input fields in JavaScript later. Then we have its a required attributes. Then we have the class name, which we'll use for styling, and then we'll have a placeholder, which disappears when the user starts inputting their details. So let's first run this and see how it appears. Save. You can run HTML using this play and debug button. Run and debug button. So we can run and debug and then select a browser of our choice. It opens in Chrome. I hope you can see it. Hope the form is visible in Chrome. And as you can see, it is unstyled. And one of my introduction was in this HTML series was that HTML gives you a code structure. It's like gives the skeleton, and then we use CSS for appearance. Today's class was meant to teach on forms, but we'll introduce a few concepts in CSS to help us style this form. So let's style our form. There are three ways of styling CSS, styling our HTML page, which we will discuss in HTML in CSS class next, where we have inline CSS, where you can style an element. We have using an external file, CSS file, and we also have an internal CSS, which we declare inside this head. So here we'll declare a style in the head, and then we'll talk about styling and the way we access attributes. We use query selectors, which help us to access these HTML fields and their properties. So for example, we'll style the body, and we'll give it a font family, the Aria font family, and then we give it a light blue background. Yeah, the background color, we give it a light blue. And then we give it a padding. Okay, let's start with the margin of 0, and then a padding of 0 to offset the initial styling. And then we give it a display. We'll talk about display, but let's first style our form. We give it a flex, and then we justify content. Don't worry about the styling. We'll talk like it in CSS, and you'll get to understand it. And then we also align the items center, and we give it an initial height of 100 view height. This one now is determined by the size of our gadget. Let's say it's a tablet, or it can be a tablet, it can be a mobile phone, it can be a PC. This now determines the initial height and makes our site responsive. So that's the body. We had our div here, which we named container. So we have the div container. We also style it, so we give it a background color of white. Color of white. And then we give it a padding of 20 pixels. And then we give it a border radius of 5. Okay, 5 pixels. We give the box shadow. We'll discuss this later. So box shadow, we give it a 0, and then we have 8px and 15 pixels, and of this background of 0.2, and width of 350 pixels. Okay, you can first see, so you save and then refresh. We see our form is taking up shape. As you can see, it's coming into shape. And so let's continue styling. We now have to style the H1. So we can style, the H2. And then we give it a text align. Center. And we now style the input fields under the label. So we give it a bold font weight. And yeah, so now we can style in the input. Form input. We'll talk about the different styling aspects that we are using here, but I needed to use them in styling the form. So unfortunately, we haven't covered them, but when we cover them, the things will be clear. So we give it a width of 100%, and then a padding of 10 pixels, and then we give it a margin of 0.8 pixels and 15 0, and so we give the border 1 pixel solid black, then border radius, can give it 5 pixels, and then box sizing, border box. Down, what else is remaining? I think with that we refresh, so you can see our form is taking shape. Now next we style this is just a simple sign up form. Then we style the button. So we give it a width of 100%, then a padding of 10 pixels, and then a background of green, or blue. Yeah, give it a blue one. And then the color white, and border we can give it none. And then border radius of 5 pixels. And next we style our paragraph, and we align the text. So let's see our form. This is just to demonstrate sign up form, and you can see the different inputs. Then the email, and then the password, and confirm password. And then we said HTML gives the skeleton, CSS styles. You saw we started with an unstyled sign up form. We've styled our sign up form a bit and given it some form. And so for now, when we click on the register, nothing will happen. It will just refresh the page. And because we haven't added JavaScript, and we'll talk about interactivity now brought about by JavaScript when we come to the JavaScript tutorial. So for today, we were going to tackle the forms. We talked about the different input fields that forms provide. Talked about the different input fields forms provide, and we haven't done a recap on all of them, but you can go through the content in the website for a clearer and more precise examples. And I think we'll end the class there for today. We were just going to tackle forms. And then in the next class, we'll talk about some advanced HTML concepts and do a simple project. We'll create a simple HTML project on this one. We'll do a personal blogging project where we'll create a full project with different pages. That will take a bit long, but we'll do that in our next class, where I will also talk about, I will introduce concepts in CSS. So that class will also cover all the concepts that we need in CSS to enable us create this personal blog project, which will have a header, it will have a navigation and a search bar. Uh, it will also have a hero section, we'll have blogs and articles, and then a sidebar, newsletter section, comments section, and a footer. So we'll kind of create an entire HTML project where we'll put into practice everything we've covered, starting from the semantic elements, the multimedia elements, the forms, all of them together. And we'll also tackle a few, CSS concepts in that class. So be ready to join and come prepared to learn more in that class. Bye bye for now, and thank you so much for your time. I'll end the recording now. Here, if you have questions, you can ask in my WhatsApp. So bye bye. Have a lovely evening. Stream. Yes.